Hey guys, I'm going to go over how to do some of the problems from math this week so that I know you've already turned them in, but if you feel like you haven't been able to do them as well as you wanted to, I want to give you guys a chance to go over them, and maybe it'll help your parents, and it'll help me understand where you guys are coming from as well, because we haven't learned this stuff since the beginning of the school year, so I know that you've forgotten some of it. So if you get out your 2.1, or if you go to 2.1 and you go to letter A. Now remember, with these packets, you don't have to do all of them. The further down you get, if you get all the way to letter E or D or whatever, it's going to get harder as you go. It starts out with A being supposedly the easiest, and then it gets harder and harder. So for 2.1A, what you guys are supposed to be doing is figuring out when the two Ferris wheels will be at the base at the same time. So you have one Ferris wheel that is quite large, and then you have a smaller one, and then this one, it takes 60 seconds for it to make one revolution, and for the other one it takes 20 seconds for this guy to go all the way around, and 60 seconds for this guy to go all the way around. And you're supposed to figure out when they will be at the base at the same time. So what you're looking for here is common multiples. When will they have the same number? How many revolutions will it be? So for this large one, how we figure this out, if we're dealing with common multiples, then we're going to write out the multiples of it. So for 60, well, the first multiple of 60 is actually 0. 0 times 60 is 0. And then we have 60, 120, 180, yada, yada, yada. For 20, you have 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, yada, yada, yada. And what you're looking for is the very first time that those two are going to meet, besides 0, because both of them at the very beginning are going to be at the same spot. But if you look up here, 0, 60, 120, 180, 0, 20, 40, 60, you will notice that 60 is it's 60 seconds at 1 minute is going to be the first time that those two are meeting. So for 20, how many times around does it have to go for it to hit 60? Well, the answer is 1, 2, 3. So this guy here is going to have to go around 3 times, and this one, 60, is going to go around 1 time before they meet up at the same place. Now, that wasn't very clear. But what you're doing is finding the least common multiple to see when these two are going to meet, and then you just have to figure out how many revolutions that will be. Let me see. I'm checking out my. Yeah, when are they both going to be at the bottom again? Yeah, it's 60 seconds. So then moving on to letter B, or the second part of A. Yeah, letter B. It says the large Ferris wheel makes 1 revolution in 50 seconds, and the small one makes a revolution in 30 seconds. Sup, kiddo? So I want to know when they will have a common number. I want to know when they are going to have a common time for them both to be at the base at the same time. So my Ferris wheel, you don't have to draw a picture. I am just a very visual person, and so I'm drawing pictures for these. So 50 and 30, and I want them both at the base at the same time. I'm going to do this 2 different ways so that you can figure out when they are going to meet. The first way that that you've been taught is by listing out the multiples. So if I take, let's start with 30. If I list out my multiples of 30, I have 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. I'm going to stop there because I know my multiples of 50, which is why I did my 30s first. I know my multiples of 50 are going to be 50, 100, 150. So does 30 go into 50? No, so it's not going to be at 50 seconds. Does 30 go into You're such a goober. Does 30 go into 100? No, it doesn't. So that's not going to be when they meet. The first time that they meet is going to be at 150 seconds. My daughter is hanging. My daughter's hanging from the whiteboard, which is where that noise is coming from, so I apologize. Actually, I don't apologize. It's stinking cute. Anyway, so where does what we learned, like this is the long way, is like writing out all of these. So how can I use what I taught you guys in class to figure this out? Well, yes, I'm using a sock to erase a board. What we taught you in class is to find the least common multiple, you take 50 and 30. What number goes both into 50 and 30? Well, they both end in 0, so I know that 10 goes into both of these. So when I divide by 10, I get 5 and 3. Does anything else go in 5 and 3 that are common? No, because they are relatively prime. They're also prime numbers, but they are relatively prime to each other. So I can't simplify them any more. So for least common multiple, I multiply these 3 together, and it'll always give you your least common multiple. So 10 times 5 is 50, times 3 gives me 150. So you know that they're going to meet at 150 seconds. That is when they will both be at the base again. Okay, moving on to letter C. The large Ferris wheel makes 1 revolution in 20 seconds. The small one makes it in 11 seconds. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys once again. You can write out the 20 and the 11, and you can go 20, 40, 60. Hey, kiddo. You can write out 20, 40, 60, all the way up to 220 if you want, but I suggest not. That's where we come into what we're doing with our thing, which is finding the least common multiple. So I have 20 and 11. And I need to ask myself, can I factor out anything between 20 and 11? So for 20, I have factors 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Do any of those fit into 11? And the answer is no, except for 1. And since 1 is the only factor that they have in common, God bless you. God bless you. Okay, get your act together, girl. Okay, so since 1 is the only one that they have in common, these two are relatively prime. Anytime that you have 2 numbers that are relatively prime and you're trying to find their least common multiple, you're going to just multiply those 2 things together. So for 20 and 11, you take 2, 0, add those 2 together, and you get at 220 seconds. So if you wanted to change that to minutes, you can divide that by 60. Oh my gosh, my daughter just ran off with dry erase markers. She's going to be like destroying everything. Just a second. Hey.